someone or you were dating someone and things didn't work out. And so you found yourself just feeling extremely frustrated, a little hopeless, and kind of just confused as to why exactly it didn't work out. So that was one of the favorite things that I got from watching the movie K-pop Demon Hunters. And I actually saw it with my wife and in-laws and stuff on Thanksgiving. And as I was thinking about everything that happened in that movie, it really just made me reflect because there were so many deeper meanings to a lot of the things that happened in the show. And at first, I was hesitant to watch it because I was hearing some people talk about, oh, it's demonic, it's this, it's that. But I decided to watch it for myself and to kind of come to my own conclusion on that. And I end up just being super intrigued by a lot of the deeper meanings, and the messages throughout the movie. And so, for those of you that haven't seen K pop Demon Hunters, the concept is really interesting because basically it talks about a group of girls that basically their role is to kind of save the world through their music and to essentially save the world from demons. But one of the girls in this group, her name is Rumi, I believe. So Rumi is part demon, actually. And it was something that she was born with, she couldn't help it. But she's in this group with these girls, and these girls don't realize that she's, part demon. And so she tries to hide it from them because she's embarrassed of it. And so what essentially the devil does is he puts together this boy band of demons essentially, but they make super catchy music. And the whole purpose of their existence is to kind of take over and essentially take over the world. And so through their music, they'll be more popular than the girls, and then the demons will kind of take over essentially. And Rumi starts to develop a crush on one of the characters, Genu, one of the demons in the boy band. And it was really interesting because whenever I think about how Genu was part demon, I think of that as how all of us have certain flaws, right? That we need to be better with, that we need prayer on, that we really need to focus on improving. Whether that's pride, whether that's greed, whether it's, lust, whether it's a lot of, whatever it is. And Genu, because he's fully demon, it and they, start to almost develop feelings for one another. It's a reminder that oftentimes whenever we're in this situation with someone else and we have this bad thing that we're trying to improve upon, and someone fully represents the bad thing that we're struggling with, it's easy to see oftentimes after it doesn't work out why it didn't work out. But sometimes, especially when you do have deep feelings for this person, it can be super confusing as to why it didn't work out. So for example, it's almost like if one person struggles with drinking and they're trying to be better, but this person that they take interest in happens to also struggle with drinking and they're a bartender. So now he knows how to make all of these drinks, but this person that struggles with drinking notices that every time she's with this person, she's drinking more, or they're going to different bars, they're trying different alcoholic drinks, and she knows that drinking is her issue, but she really likes this person. So she kind of goes along with it. And eventually, if, or when things end, she ends up being really confused and kind of asking, okay, why did this not work out the way that I thought it was going to? And that's why I think it was really interesting, just their dynamic throughout the movie, because Rumi initially really tried to push him away. She wasn't giving him the time of day, wasn't talking to him. But the guy from the get-go did take a liking to her. And so she like pushes him away, and then finally they start talking, and he talks about his history and how he became a demon, and and I'll probably talk about this in another video, but basically Jinu's character, him and his family were both like they were both poor, or they were all poor, and they weren't doing too well, you know, financially. And so he essentially, it's almost like he quote unquote like made a deal with the devil, and he had all of this like food and like fame, like whatever. But then, of course, he had to separate from his family. And so he became a demon, but part of him was still conflicted because he felt terrible, of course, for leaving his family behind. But then that's just what he ended up becoming. And so then Rumi starts to develop a soft spot for Jinu because she almost feels like they have this connection or this chemistry based on how kind of they didn't intend to become demons per se, but that's what they ended up becoming. And so this relates to dating because when we have certain flaws or certain things that we're struggling with, we need to be able to look past the outside, the external characteristics. Whether that means, oh, so and so is super attractive, or whether that means so and so is super well off financially. If what this person is or what they represent is going to make us regress and make us go back into the toxic habits that we had. If it's going to make us go back into the bad habits that we want to be, you know, that we don't want to fall back into. If being with that person isn't going to help you be better, then it doesn't matter how attractive they are. It doesn't matter what car they have or how much money they make, because ultimately when you're dating, the goal is to find somebody that you will marry and spend the rest of your life with. And so if you struggle with one thing and date somebody that also struggles with something, or they don't even see it as a struggle, they just see that as the way that they're living their life, then it's a recipe for disaster, and it's bound to end. It's bound to cause frustration and stress, because it gets so easy when you're dating to develop that scarcity mindset of, okay, even though I struggle with this thing and this person struggles with this thing, I've been single for a while and this is the first time I'm getting any kind of attention, or at least any kind of desired attention, so I may as well entertain it. But what people don't realize is by entertaining that thing, they're only pulling themselves back. They're only essentially regressing in the grand scheme of things. And so, yeah, guys, that's pretty much the video. I wanted to touch on this real quick just because it's a super interesting dynamic in the movie. And I plan on making a few more videos kind of talking about different dynamics throughout this movie. And I want to know what you guys think as well. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below as well. And I'll talk to all of you guys in the next video.